and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to be flipping through my February daily creative journal. So let's go ahead and get started. A little bit about the cover. So this one looks a lot like my my February cover. I think this is just kind of the style that I'm going to be using for the year. I really enjoyed this style with the focal image bordered by this really shiny gold rickrack and the little flowers. So I kind of did the same thing here with the February cover. And then I have it labeled here, February 2026. I've got some fun strawberry trim. So obviously the theme for February was Valentine's. So I thought that this picture of the cat with the bow was just very, very sweet. And I added the pink little roses. And yeah, I was just really happy with how this cover turned out. This is what the back looks like, pretty plain. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead and get started. This one is much thicker than the January one. As you can see, it's much, much thicker. I added more pages because I anticipated that I was going to have a lot more going on this month. So also a lot of the pages that I used were just overall thicker than the pages that I included in the January one. I used a lot more cardstock, scrapbook paper, that kind of thing. So, yeah. Okay. Here I have a little tuck spot. Wrote about filming that first flip through video. Little pocket here with some journaling and some photos. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach growling. I'm very hungry. All right, so something that you might notice is that very early on in this journal, you could tell that I was very much feeling Valentine's and kind of in that mood, in that vibe. So that is what a lot of these earlier pages in the journal look like. They're very Valentine's forward, a lot of hearts, a lot of Valentine's stickers. Here's a page that I did not finish. So that is also another commonality between this journal and my January journal. Days that I did not journal about, I'm just giving myself that freedom to be okay with blank pages. So here is definitely, these two are pretty blank. I think from this point on, my journal becomes decreasingly Valentine's forward. All right, so here we're getting into, I took a trip to Chicago. I was in Chicago for Valentine's weekend with my husband because, as I mentioned before, he's in school up there. So I think this is actually, yeah, so this was actually on Valentine's Day. I kind of had a solo date for the first half of the day, and then once he was done with classes, we were able to celebrate together. But so, had some solo adventures. I went and visited the Jellycat store there. And I've never taken part in the Jellycat craze until now. So I got myself this cute little rose bouquet because I thought, you know, Valentine's Day, I wanted to treat myself to some roses. And then I also grabbed, I don't have this one pictured in my journal, but I got this cute little croissant bag clip. I thought that was so cute. So yeah, I really enjoyed going to the Jellycat store. They are very expensive, but they're very cute, so I wanted to treat myself to a couple of those. I also visited a bookstore. I've been here before. I've been here a couple of times, so if you're in the Chicago area, maybe you've been here as well, but that bookstore afterwards, they sell new and used books. I really enjoyed just walking around, spending time there. And then here is the latter part of our Valentine's Day. So Robbie was out of class, and we got to spend the evening together. My favorite part of the night was we got to go to this tiki bar called, it's actually called Three Dots and a Dash, but within that bar, they have a little room that is kind of its own area, its own space, and it has its own special drink menu. So this part of the bar is called the Bamboo Room, and it's a little bit more exclusive. We love tiki drinks, so we were very excited to do that together. Did some journaling here. I've found that I really enjoy journaling on just the page, even if there's a design underneath, or even if it's not totally blank space so that you can see the writing. I still really like that. It just looks kind of cool to me. And I know what I wrote, so that's all that really matters to me. These were our favorite drinks. This one is called the Saturn Frap, and then this one was the Zombie Cobbler. Some twists on some traditional tiki drinks that we really enjoyed. Yeah, another blank page. A couple blank pages, actually. All right, then here I journaled about a weekend with my brother. I actually did this inside a coffee shop. I was getting caught up on some journaling, and I did this inside a coffee shop. I think I've actually discovered that I don't really enjoy journaling in coffee shops. It's a really nice romantic idea, right? To like pack a bag and take all your stickers and your supplies and just like sit inside this cute, cozy coffee shop and journal. But I am highly self-conscious of doing that. So I don't know. That's just something about me. I think journaling is really personal, which is of course why I'm sharing it here with you in this video. But no, I think the creative process, like the process of putting together a page, pulling out all your supplies and just letting it sit all over a table and take up space, I think that part of the process is what is very vulnerable to me. So I would love to film some journal with me videos. I just don't know when I will feel comfortable or confident enough to do that. All right, let me see. Kind of got lost here. Here, this is a fun one. I journaled about a trinket shelf that Robbie got me for Valentine's Day. I love trinkets. I love collecting little knickknacks, and so I was also very inspired by Thrifty Day. She also has a lot of, she loves trinkets. This is actually her postcard that I got and something that I ordered from her. So I was very happy to be able to display some of my trinkets in a very cute way. This is a book that I read in the month of February, The Collected Regrets of Clover. It's a very beautiful story about a girl who is a death doula. So she basically helps people on their journey into death and does what she can to comfort them in their dying moments and be there for people who maybe might not have anybody else in those moments. And I just thought it was a beautiful story of her, her learning how to live her life through the wisdom and the advice that she receives from some of those people that she interacts with on their deathbeds. Okay. Here, this spread is about the the State of the Union address, which I will not get very much into. Yeah. Anyway, and then here we went to the 21 Pilots More Than We Ever Imagined movie screening, and that was really, really cool. And then this spread, I love this spread. I love this spread so much. So cute. We were getting ready to go on a wine tour trip out in Fredericksburg. So this is just kind of talking about that. I treated myself to some cute little outfits from this boutique for the weekend. And then this was the Friday that we left, which also coincided with Pokemon's 30th anniversary, which I love Pokemon. And it was really cool to see all of the things that are coming in the future. We've got Pokemon Wind and Waves coming out. We've got Pokopia, which is out. Unfortunately, I don't have a Switch 2. Robbie does, but I'm not allowed to buy the game until I get a new job. At least that's what he says, but I think he might crack if I ask enough times. And then this is me journaling about our wine tour in Fredericksburg. So this was Friday night when we got up there. We went and we had a really nice dinner at this place called Wranglers, which is set behind Longhorn Cellars. If you're a Texas person, if you've ever been out in the Fredericksburg area, maybe you've been there. If you haven't, Fredericksburg is just, it's pretty much, it's in the Texas Hill Country, and it has really exploded in popularity due to its wine tours. There's a lot of wineries out there. You can take tours, ride on shuttles, which is what we did. So we stayed at this hotel, and the hotel parking lot was a pickup spot for this wine shuttle that just drives you straight down the route with all the wineries. So you could just hop on and hop off as you wanted. Oh, this is that coffee shop that I sat journaling in, that I tried to journal in. This spread was the only one that I was able to complete. Which one? This one right here. This is the only spread that I was able to do in that coffee shop because I was so self-conscious. But I did this while Robbie was in his virtual class, so that's kind of where I hung out for that morning, and it was a really cute place. I really liked it. Okay, here's more about our wine tour. So this was the morning of the tour, and then this was actually getting started on the tour. So here was our first stop at Texas Heritage Vineyards. I loved this outfit. These pants, I actually bought at that little boutique. I don't know if you can see them right there. I loved those pants so much, or I love them so much. They're so comfortable and so cute and fun. Then this is us at Safari Winery. This is our favorite winery out there by far. We actually have a wine club membership with them, and we are anticipating our shipment this month. So we're super excited about that. Wonderful experience. If you are from Texas, or if you are planning to go out to Fredericksburg, you have to go to Safari Winery. If you're part of their wine membership club, you can see kangaroos. They have kangaroos in the back part of their space. So that was pretty cool, because when else would I ever get to see kangaroos in my life outside of a zoo? And then I have not finished this page, but this is how we ended our wine journey at a winery called Slate Theory. You can't really tell in the photo, but my eyes are red and my nose is a little red because, embarrassingly enough, I started crying. I think I'd had a little bit too much wine. We were talking about very sentimental things, family and friends that we've lost in our lives, and there I was just crying in the bar. So there's that. Yeah, and then as I mentioned earlier, I do have a lot of pages that you know, I put a lot of pages in this journal, a lot more than I did in my January journal, and they were just, you know, not needed. I didn't need that many pages. I think I went a little crazy on the Valentine's prints and the Valentine theming. But yeah, so this is where my journal ends here. It's pretty much it. Overall, I found that I really enjoy this whole daily journaling for each month. I think, as I said in my video about my January journal, I really enjoy the opportunity to create different covers and different themes for the month. I like the actual part of making the journal. That's really fun to me, pulling in a bunch of different papers and images and fabrics. So I've really enjoyed this process. I also really love that I have been using up so much stuff. Like, I've been using up a lot of my stickers, and I think that this has just been a really cool way to just use the things that I have. So I highly recommend it. If you've ever thought about journaling, it doesn't have to be like this. It can if you want it to be, but it's been really therapeutic for me. You know, especially with everything going on in the world right now. It's been a wonderful escape and a great way for me to process my feelings, and it's a good way for me to focus on the good things in my life, and a lot of the blessings that, you know, that I have. So yeah, highly recommend. If you've ever thought about journaling, you should give it a try. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.